Ryan Clark didn't just comment, he lit a fuse. On live TV, he pulled back the curtain on what looks less like a coaching plan and more like a control play. A veteran staff quietly sidelining a rookie who already feels like a star. Imagine drafting someone who brings instant headlines, confidence, and highlight reel throws, and then treating him like a footnote. That contradiction is the spark that set Cleveland's internet ablaze. This isn't only about X's and O's, it's about belief. Coaches win when they trust talent. They lose when ego and process replace conviction. Clark's words hit because they matched what fans were seeing at practice. A calm, polished kid throwing accurate passes, while the depth chart reads like a puzzle the front office forgot to finish. Social feeds filled with side-by-side clips, hashtags trended, and a simple question spread. Why bench a player who looks ready? What follows isn't just noise, it's a story about old-school coaching clashing with modern quarterbackhood, about image and opportunity, and about a franchise that may be protecting its comfort zone instead of its future. In the next sections, we'll unpack the depth chart drama, the deleted takes and cryptic posts, the coach's public lines versus what insiders of ignoring a rising brand. Because when a rookie becomes a movement, pretending he doesn't exist stops being an option. When the Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders, it didn't feel like a celebration. It felt like hesitation. Reports suggest Kevin Stefanski wasn't entirely sold on the pick, and that uncertainty showed from day one. There was no tailored plan, no clear roadmap for integrating a quarterback who came with both undeniable skill and unavoidable spotlight. Shedeur wasn't just another rookie. He was a brand, a headline magnet, a quarterback built for the modern NFL era. But instead of embracing that, Cleveland seemed more concerned about managing him than developing him. Stefanski, known for his quiet, rigid approach, suddenly had to navigate cameras, questions, and charisma, and it looked like he never wanted to. From the start, there was a disconnect. A team that drafted potential but feared personality. The real chaos began when the Browns released their depth chart, and Shedeur Sanders' name was nowhere near the top. Fans expected him to at least hold the QB2 spot, especially after his sharp preseason showings and calm command in practice. Instead, veterans with fading spark and backups struggling with basic reads were placed ahead of him. Within hours, hashtag #FreeShedeur and hashtag #LetHimPlay started trending. Side-by-side clips flood in social media. Sanders dropping pinpoint throws while others missed open receivers by a mile. It didn't look like competition. It looked like politics. Many began to suspect Stefanski wasn't developing him at all, just keeping him contained. The same confidence that made Shedeur magnetic to fans seemed to make the coach uncomfortable. And in Cleveland, that silence spoke louder than any press conference. When Ryan Clark spoke, it wasn't just commentary, it was confrontation. On ESPN's Get Up, he called out Kevin Stefanski with the kind of precision that left no room for excuses. Clark didn't hide behind vague coach speak or soft analysis. He said what everyone in Cleveland was already thinking, but too cautious to admit. Stefanski never believed in Shedeur from the start. His take cut deeper than football talk. It was about control, ego, and fear of a rising star. Clark pointed out that if a coach doesn't truly want his quarterback, the relationship is doomed before it begins. His message was clear: you can't coach what you resent. And that struck a nerve. Within minutes, his clip went viral, shaking up social media, locker rooms, and even the Browns' front office. Ryan Clark didn't just expose dysfunction. He exposed the truth hiding in plain sight. When the backlash hit, Kevin Stefanski tried to keep his composure. In press conferences, he stuck to the same safe lines. We're focused on development. It's part of the process. We'll evaluate in due time. But fans weren't buying it. Reporters pressed harder, pointing to Shedeur's near-perfect preseason stats and clean mechanics. Yet Stefanski's tone never changed. It felt less like leadership and more like damage control. Meanwhile, clips of Shedeur's effortless reads and bullet passes circulated online, making the decision to bench him look even stranger. The media began questioning whether this was really about readiness or resistance. Even Deion Sanders added fuel with a cryptic post that had fans connecting the dots instantly. And while Stefanski preached patience, his silence about Shedeur's name spoke volumes. It wasn't just coaching anymore. It was optics, politics, and pride. What's happening in Cleveland isn't just a quarterback controversy. It's a culture clash. On one side, you've got Kevin Stefanski, an old-school coach who values control, structure, and quiet obedience. On the other, Shedeur Sanders, confident, composed, and unapologetically modern. He's not just playing the game. He's redefining what a young quarterback can represent in the spotlight era. For Stefanski, that's uncomfortable. To him, swagger looks like distraction, and personality feels like risk. But for this generation, it's fuel. It's branding, leadership, and connection all rolled into one. The Browns aren't just deciding who their QB is. They're deciding what kind of team they want to be. Will they embrace the new wave of athlete-led identity or stay stuck protecting a system that's already outdated? One represents the future. The other, a fading philosophy pretending it still works. Cleveland is running out of time to hide behind the word process. Every week, Shedeur Sanders sits, the noise gets louder. From fans, from analysts, even from inside the locker room. The Browns are standing at a crossroads where every option carries risk. Start him, and Stefanski admits he misjudged the situation from the start. Keep him benched, and the team risks imploding under the weight of frustration and lost belief. Either way, the truth will surface, because players like Shedeur don't fade quietly. They rise whether their coach is ready or not. And when that moment comes, when he finally takes the field and proves what everyone's been saying, Cleveland won't just be watching a debut. They'll be watching the fallout of every missed chance, every cautious decision, and every ounce of pride that tried to hold him back.